I wish a very good evening to all of us. And I have a request to Sister Moderator. I might go a little beyond the stipulated time, so please bear up with me. I begin. You see my topic here. By the way, this is not the choice of me. This is assigned to me. I go to the introduction. Females are an endangered species today. Their dignity is on the verge of annihilation as well. Sexual atrocity is one of the critical lines of attack employed to divest their dignity. The basis of this monstrosity lies in gender-related issues. Gender, equated with sex, wields a live identity on them, which is unlike the identity the Bible embodies and imparts on humans, that is, the image and likeness of God. Gender roles, stereotypes, patriarchy, etc., degenerate the state of affairs by imposing and inflicting sanctions on females. Failure to conform to the stipulated sanctions amounts to penalties such as physical violence, naked parades, rapes, and even murder. An experience of the dreadful and agonizing reality renders females pronounce the interjection enough of imposition of identity. It's a plea as well as a command in the face of excruciating pain experienced at the divestment of God-given dignity at the household, in the society, in the church. So the article is a humble and earnest endeavor to reclaim the divested dignity of the female, the image and likeness of God. So we have formulated the topic into 4 sections: significance of gender, factors divesting female dignity, various responses to the problem, and measures to the problem. I move to the first section, gender and its analysis. A twofold rationale necessitates the discussion on the concept gender. One, occurrence of the term in our theme, that is issues in gender. Secondly, the hassles the notion causes on humans, especially on females. A fundamental hassle of the concept is its equation with sex, and sex refers to different biological and physiological characteristics of females, males, and intersex persons, such as chromosomes, hormones, and reproductive organs. Whereas gender represents socially constructed characteristics of males, females, which includes norms, behaviors, and roles associated with being a male or female, as well as relationship with each other. In brief, sex is a reference to the biology and gender to the sociology or a social construct, but then they are equated and then we have problems. As a social structure, gender exerts serious ramification. One, it classifies males as masculine, females as feminine, imposes on them characteristics they are condemned to observe without fail. The imposed features generate bias and inequality. 2. This gender-based discrimination further intersects with other factors of discrimination such as caste, religion, ethnicity, socio-economic status, disability, age, geographic location, gender identity, sexual orientation, among others. Referring to the discrimination, we have a report here from the UN how a discrimination is meted out among males and females. In the case of females, the discrimination paves the way for deprivation of privileges, opportunities, information, non-access to decision-making in various areas of life, and facing greater risks in healthcare, safety, and preservation of dignity. The facet of safety and preservation of dignity stands for sexual atrocities meted out to females. We would be accentuating this aspect in our reflection because sexual assault over and above physical violation has a bearing on the psycho-spiritual being of a person. Hence, it is explicit from this illustration that equation of gender with sex has perilous effects on females, especially on their dignity. Now we have certain factors that further degenerate the dignity of females, like gender roles, gender stereotypes, patriarchy, and men who are monsters. Gender roles in society means the way one is expected to act, to speak, to dress, to groom, to conduct oneself based upon one's assigned sex. For example, girls and women are generally expected to dress in a typically feminine way and be polite, accommodating, and nurturing. Boys are generally expected to be strong, aggressive, and bold. Every society or ethnic group and culture has gender role expectations, but they can be different from group to group. They can also change over time. For example, pink used to be considered a masculine color in the US, while blue was considered feminine. And as we know, it's exactly the other way in India. The impasse gender roles create in the life of a female are exacerbated by the gender stereotypes. So we have the second factor. Gender stereotype is a generalized view or preconception about attributes or characteristics or the roles that are or ought to be possessed by or performed by women and men. A gender stereotype is harmful when it limits the capacity of men and women to develop their personal abilities, pursue their professional careers, or make choices about their lives. Gender stereotypes are of four kinds: personality traits, domestic behavior, occupations, and physical appearance. Personality traits: women are expected to be submissive, accommodating, and emotional, while men are expected to be self-confident and aggressive. At the personality level, a female is also expected to be passive, naive, sexually inexperienced, soft, flirtatious, graceful, nurturing, and accepting. Likewise, males are supposed to compete with other men and dominate feminine folks by being aggressive. worldly, sexually experienced, insensitive, physically imposing, ambitious, and demanding. Domestic behaviors. Females are expected to be taking care of their children, cook, and clean home, while males are supposed to take care of finances, work on the car, and do home repairs. Occupations. It is quickly assumed that teachers and nurses are females and that pilots, doctors, and engineers are males. Physical appearance. Females are expected to be thin and graceful, while males are expected to be tall and muscular. Both males and females are expected to dress and groom in ways that are stereotypical to their gender. These range of gender stereotypes have far-reaching negative impact or consequences on females. Stereotypes, the negative impact, far-reaching harmful impact. Stereotypes, first of all, perpetuate inequalities. Overtly hostile stereotypes such as women are irrational or seemingly benign stereotypes like women are nurturing, destructive as they are, they perpetuate inequalities. 2. Gender stereotypes compounded and intersecting with other stereotypes have a disproportionate negative impact on certain groups of women, such as women from minority or indigenous groups, women with disabilities, women from lower caste groups or with lower economic status, migrant women, etc. Wrongful gender stereotyping is a frequent cause of discrimination against women. It's a contributing factor in violating a vast array of rights such as right to health, adequate standard of living, education, marriage and family relations, work, freedom of expression, freedom of movement, political participation and representation, effective remedy, freedom from gender-based violence. When stereotypes are exaggerated, once again there are consequences. First of all, they make relationship between people difficult. Here, females are more likely to endure physical and emotional abuse from their partner. Males, on the other hand, are more likely to be physically and emotionally abusive to their partners. Second, extreme gender stereotypes are harmful also because they do not allow people to fully express themselves and their emotions. Males suffer because they are not allowed to cry or express sensitive emotions. Females suffer because they are not allowed to be independent, smart, and assertive. 3. Gender stereotypes at worst include sexism and discrimination based on gender, both of which are extremely dangerous. At this stage, we wouldn't be in the wrong if we assert that patriarchy adds up to the affliction of females. Patriarchy is an ideology that upholds men's systemic dominance over women, justifying male superiority and rejecting equal structures in both public and private spheres of life. It accentuates the strategy gender roles and stereotypes advocate on the one hand, and on the other hand, escalate the inflicted ordeal of females. Females certainly scorn patriarchy. Here we have two males from the NDTV, M. Mishra and V. Venugopal, the consulting editor and political editor respectively at the NDTV. They consider patriarchy as patriarchy They denigrate patriarchy as a disorder that operates according to the law of the jungle. That is, it lives by the principle of might is right, which gives it the license to act according to one's own will, namely, breaking the system or forcibly taking away others' rights by the use of strength and influence. They underscore a crucial dynamic, that is, sexual harassment is the most perverse manifestation of patriarchy and the jungle Raj it represents. It was hoped that after the Nirbhaya movement and even after the all-powerful Me Too movement that swept the world not too long ago, and the rage that it upsurged, patriarchy would be weakened. Sadly, there are no indications to such wane. We need to understand that the destruction of patriarchy is in everyone's best interest. This is because some sort of patriarchy exists in all of us, in men and in women, more in some and less in others. As patriarchy remains unshakable for centuries, is it not essential to unite in our quest to establish the rule of law, a system free from any might is right principles? Our next factor, men who are monsters. Those of us who are aware, this is a picture of Caliban. He's from Shakespeare's The Tempest. So when I think of monsters, only this picture comes to my mind, so I just put it down here. The label of monster to males derives from males. Certainly, I wouldn't do that. Ankit Kumar, a male freelance writer, while condemning gallows crimes against females, lashes out at monstrous males. He claims that such offenses occur only when men become monsters. Identifying with the pain and anguish of a female who carries a child for 9 months, gives birth and nurtures it, he instructs males as follows. Being a real man does not come with the right to dominate or possess a woman, but rather in respecting women, in letting her enjoy her God-given freedom. He also tenders soul-searching questions. If clothes, character, and choices of a female are considered reasons for females' rape, how come an 11-month-old baby gets sexually assaulted? Even more gut-wrenching are the cases of an 80-year-old bedridden lady getting raped. Is the game of blaming the victim applied here too? The day a woman doesn't feel threatened by the presence of men as she walks in the dark lanes after her office hours is the day we truly become a real man. Through this writing, I pray to all my fellow men out there, let us be real men, not monsters. Could we, at this stage of our reflection, assert that men who are monsters vulture on females who venture out for survival by defying the enforced and inflicted statutes laid down by gender roles, stereotypes, patriarchy, etc. According to the National Crime Bureau, On an average, 80 rapes occur every hour in India. The statistics are based on reported crimes. Imagine the number of unreported crimes. The assaults go back forever, but now talked about since the Nirbhaya. From Nirbhaya 2012 to Ajmer to Kochi to Bareilly to Thane to Patna to Satna to Kathua to Hathras and now in RG Kar Kolkata, that is 2024. Females ranging from the age 4 to 80 plus have been suffering sexual assault. There is shock and horror and outrage at first, but then it all subsides and we move on to the next tragedy. Nothing seems to have changed. We can't go on having tragedy after tragedy. We need systemic change. As females are expected to be indoors, a note on their performance while being outdoors is in place. And it comes from the ILO, International Labour Organization. Companies struggling to increase the profit, how the profit simply shoots up when females take up. There are also other benefits when female are in charge. We move to our third section, response in reclaiming the dignity of females. These responses range from repulsion to concrete measures to dealing with and preventing such atrocities. It is encouraging to note that more of such voices come out from males. We would like to call them humanists and feminists. And here we have two responses. The first response is humanist and feminist. Second is Christian understanding, under which we have two, biblical understanding and church response. Responses from humanists and feminists. We have men who are monsters. We also have men who are humanists and feminists. And certainly it's heartening. We document a few of such males' stances. Referring to the deeply worrying flood of violent crimes against women and welcoming their widespread exposure, especially in Mollywood, I think it's a reference to Kerala film industry, Shashi Tharoor, an Indian politician, remarks, there must be something wrong with Indian men if we can't address this problem. The battle of controlling, if not eradicating, the horrid issue of violent crimes against men, against women, lies in correcting the overall attitude in Indian society. At a horrifying sexual assault of two 4-year-old girls inside the girls' toilet at a pre-primary school at Badlapur, Maharashtra by a 23-year-old male cleaning staff, the Bombay High Court noted that male dominance and male chauvinism are still prevalent in society. The court has highlighted the need to educate boys about gender equality and change their attitudes towards gender issues. It's fulfilling to see that the court not only proposes measures to deal constructively with the crimes, but also recommends structural changes to the horrifying reality. I would just like to note here that this man, the person who raped, has been shot dead by the cops just 2 weeks ago when he was being taken to the court for hearing. We have a third person, Ankit Kumar, a freelance writer. He has the following to say. Today I write in pain because husband Dominic Pellicott drugged her to have her raped into their home by dozens of strangers. The number counted is 53 males. That occurred between 2011 to 2020. Giselle, then a victim and now a feminist icon, refuses to be ashamed and demands the trial to be open to the public to raise awareness about the use of drugs to commit sexual suicide. Thousands of people, including men, took to the streets in mid-September 2024 to support her and demand an end to rape culture. Several high-profile men have also publicly suggested that it is, in fact, masculinity that is on trial. They have urged their peers to help stem the violence. Let's stop viewing women's bodies as objects of our disposal. Read a petition signed by a 26-year-old. Political journalist Karim Rissouli said that he felt sick to the stomach as a man when listening to the trial. A 72-year-old French singer, Renaud, said that he hoped that the public nature of the trial would finally force this patriarchal society and us men to take action over violence against women and children. Other powerful statements by males intending to end masculine domination in the context